Fellow leaf lovers, how are you doing this evening? Well, evening for me. I'm sure evening for some that are on the West Coast. Anyway, Sanj Patel went digging around in his basement and he pulled out some very rare first editions. SP1014 first edition from 1995. These are a 30-year-old cigar. 30-year-old. Look how beautiful that is. They're not kept with Boveda or any kind of humidipack or anything. The way he keeps them in his basement. So before I humidify any of the other ones, we're gonna smoke one right off the truck and see how they taste. We're gonna taste 1995, and like I said, the mail call. The other thing I was doing with cigars in 1995 was cutting them open and adding something to them. So we're gonna try. Smells kind of musty, like an aged cigar does. Mm. It doesn't taste musty though on the dry, but you guys know I don't really go off the dry draw. But we're gonna try to do it the way Sanj would do it, and he always uses a light, soft flame, a Bic lighter. He doesn't use torches. So, wow, 1995 first edition. This one they were rolled. They were rolled in 1995, so the tobacco could be even older. Uh, let's try that. Give it a toast. Now this is a whole different kind of tobacco than what we get now, so no matter what, this is going to be a nice experience, a different experience. We won't know personally won't know what this tastes like if it's gotten better or worse because I wasn't smoking these in 1995. So unless you could smoke, you were in 1995 and you remember smoking one of these then, and then you smoke one now is the only way you're gonna know. But we're gonna go off of what we get today, 30 years later. This is the oldest cigars I have. These are the black, the SP 1014 black. I do have some of the reds coming. They just have not shown up yet. So thank you to Sanj Patel for digging in his basement and releasing these out to the wild so everybody can try them. And it's very limited still. I think once they're out on what he's released. So if you know where to go get them, you know where to go, and snag them up while you can. You know, usually he doesn't have a real spicy cigar. He's not really known for having real spice in his cigars. That has some black pepper in the retro that's kind of spicy, and on the back of the throat. Nice draw. I mean, just bellowing out of that cap. So draw is perfect. very nutty for me right off the get go. You know, that's definitely more spicy than the blend of the SP1014 Black right now that he has. This was just Sanj Patel. And now I can't remember who he's blending it with. I know some of you might know. Um, I know just not off the top of my head. Anyway, this is definitely a more spicier version. And if it's this spicy now, which is not over, it's not overly spicy, but for a Sanj Patel cigar, it's kind of spicy. But nutty and almost creamy on the finish on both the retro and the palate. Take a hit of coffee and then hit this. Mm, that's a good mixture. The smoke feels about a it's about a medium plus on the tongue. It's got a little bit of a bite to it. Nothing overpowering, but for a Sanj Patel cigar, it is a little spicy, nutty, and a creamy finish already. Wow, you could taste the difference of the tobacco from a yesteryears to these days. There is a different balance to it. Now I can see why, just from this little bit. People that were smoking cigars back in the 90s and stuff, and smoke cigars now, talk about the tobacco from back in the day being a different breed of tobacco and somewhat better. I don't know if it's better. This is hitting different than a new like. I mean, this is still considered new world, but more hitting different than new cigars from today's world. That's nice. And this is probably the spiciest Sanj Patel cigar I've ever smoked. So if this is still has a little bit of that kick and bite to it right now, I can imagine what it was like 30 years ago. Maybe he was a spice king back then. I don't know. This is a little spicy for a Sanj Patel. It's also my first cigar in 6 hours, which that's a long time for me not to have a cigar, but only because I was sleeping. And we've already brushed our teeth and all kinds of stuff. So uh, brush my teeth, drink some coffee, get that that fresh brush teeth out, so it's not getting in the way. This is a Toro, by the way. I don't know if I said that. I probably didn't. I usually forget to do that. I believe it's a 6x50 Toro. It's a Toro, so that's all that I do know. And you guys know me, I like Robusto's, but he didn't have these in. He only had these in the Toros, which I'm cool with. And I've actually smoked a number of cigars in Toros that I thought were better than the Robusto size. So for being more of a Robusto guy, I was quite pleased with certain Toros. Now that spice is already starting to calm down just a touch. It's still a little spicy on the tongue, but there's a nutty from the get-go. There's been a nuttiness, and then at the end of the finish on the retro and the palate, there's a creaminess. And this is one of the ones, like how I've talked about, that after I blow out all the smoke, it makes my mouth water. This one's making my mouth water. Like, they create extra saliva or something. Some of them dry your mouth out, and some make your mouth water, and this one's making my mouth water. Shift change. Got all the four-wheelers coming out. All right, we're going to let this rest. Or not rest, but, settle in and see how she develops. Sanj Patel's original blend, original release, first edition, SP1014 Black from 19. I'm doing a video here, man. 1995. We're tasting the past, a blast from the past. Cigars from 1995 taste a little different when it's just tobacco. I cracked myself up. You guys, I really cracked myself up. All right, we'll be back. All right. Just want to show you guys that beautiful ash. Look at that. That construction on that is just beautiful. I have a breeze coming through and I have a fan on, and it's staying pretty well straight. I did do the old doobie trick just a little bit on the one side and then turned it towards the breeze, and it's kind of catching up. I'm not touching it up. I'm just kind of doing like what the forestry does, steering it with a little bit of saliva. Mm. That that spice that was at the beginning has calmed way down. There's still just a touch on the tongue and just a touch on the retro, depending on how big of a retro you do. And you guys know me, I like doing big retros, so it still kind of hits, but I like it. But for Sanj Patel, I know I've said it already in the first part of the video. This is probably the spiciest one I've ever had. Like, out of this blend, the original blend must be spicier than the blend that we get now. And I can only imagine 30 years ago, this probably was pretty spicy. So I'm going to go on a limb and say 30 years of rest has probably calmed it down. And it probably brought out the nuttiness that's in this, because this was nutty, creamy right from the beginning, and it's actually got more nutty creamy for me personally. And it's going great with my truck coffee. And I mean, if you didn't have any hair on your chest, if you drink my truck coffee, you'll have hair on your chest. And your voice will get deeper. This is some strong coffee. This is stronger than the coffee we get at home, and pretty much we have a DeLonghi and a Jura. And if anybody knows anything about coffee machines, those do everything but give you a reach around. Like, you grind it, you put your whole bean in, you just push a button, they grind it, press it, spit out the coffee. It's got a water tank. You get the crema on top. Very strong cups of coffee, anyway, is what I should say, or espresso, however you want to call it. Um, very strong. But this stuff's strong. Back in the day when we had our construction company, we were traveling from Redding, California, down to Elk Grove, California. It's about a 2-hour drive to get to a job we had going on in Sacramento County. And we'd stay down there for 4 days out of the week. We did 412s, and we'd stay at the Holiday Inn. So I do know some stuff because I've stayed at the Holiday Inn, so don't question me. I don't know if you remember those commercials. Anyway, my buddy ran out of coffee in his thermos. Well, I had Stanley thermos. So I give him some of my coffee, and he drank it, and then asked me one more, and he said no. He's like, I'm about to chew myself out of the door to get out of this truck. I'm ready to go to work. He had so much energy. He was like, it's like liquid crack almost. It was just funny that he didn't want any more of my coffee. It was too strong. Tastes good, but the after effect was too much for him. But he's one of the guys that drinks, you know, probably more of a lighter roast, and with cream in it, or half and half. Oh man, that nutty creaminess is just banger. Look at that ash, though. I mean, look at that ash, YouTube. Look at that ash. Boy, I haven't said that in a long time, huh? Excuse me. Don't inhale, kids. The construction on that is just wow. Hold on. We got to get an Instagram photo for that one. Here, you guys are going to be in the background. Oh, that's too much backlight. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. There we go. Anyway, this original release, SP1014 Black, rolled in 1995, so I'm sure it's probably got a 3 or more year age tobacco in it, knowing Sanj Patel. Um, Granted, I never knew who he was back in the day. I just recently, this year, halfway through 2024, learned who he was and started smoking cigars and enjoy. I've enjoyed every single cigar I've got from that guy of his blends. And I can't remember the other guy that he's blending with, but let's just put it this way: since I've learned of Sanj Patel, every cigar I've had of his brand has been banger. You know, a lot of people don't like the gas station sushi, but for what is considered a budget stick, um, and you get them in the bundles of 25. I smoke one or two of those a week as just a fill-in cigar while I'm trucking because I know what I'm gonna get. Every single one, it's like very consistent. I've smoked over a bundle of them already. Okay, and they are very consistent, and it's just a great cigar, and it's a big cigar. Well, I have the Lanceros, and then I have what I believe are a Toro, but they seem bigger than a Toro. Anyway, just a really good cigar for what is considered a budget stick, but the gas station sushi is a good one. I mean, it's not the top of line. Don't get me wrong, but for just an everyday, what people would call a yard gar or whatever, or just for a road trip, if you want something that's going to last quite a while and have great flavors, it's the way to go. But the SP10 Black that we get these days, 1014 we get these days, are good. This is better. I can only imagine what it tastes like 1995. Uh, I know I'm talking this thing up, but it's that good. Did you guys just see that? Look at that. Looks like a jet turbo in there. Look at that pyramid that's underneath that ash. We just lost our ash, YouTube. Half of it went in my shoe. Dang it. I just put clean socks on. Well, looks like a cat turd laying on the floor out of a cat box. I guess we'll be blowing the truck out tonight. Look at that, though. I mean, the construction. Ooh, wow. That was probably a good thing, 'cause that just changed the flavor profile, losing that ash. I don't know, because it's getting more oxygen to it. Oxygen? Getting more oxygen to it, or what? But that just was way creamy and nutty. And a very natural sweetness just came out of that. Wow. It just got way better. Okay, if you guys are smoking one of these and you're getting a long ash, bust that ash off and then hit it. Mmm. Wow. That just open it up, just like that spice that you clap in your hand to open it up, wake it up before you use it in the cooking. Mmm. That just, that ash coming off and that air hitting it. That's good. Don't inhale. Don't inhale, kids. I'm getting excited. Okay, right now, I don't do a list and I don't rank my cigars, right? I'm not that kind of reviewer, cigar reviewer. As you guys know, that's been following me. For new people, I don't do that. But in the last 2 weeks, maybe three, the best cigar I've had was the Gree Gree. Okay, sent in to me by Hogmetic. Her. It's a house blend of the L.A. Cigar Collective, which the L.A. part is for Louisiana. Okay, that has been the best cigar I've smoked 2 3 weeks tops at least. That thing is a banger. So if you ever come across a Gree Gree, smoke it. This might be taking that title away right now. Uh, this is good, but it's hard to compare those two because that's a now today's cigar and this is a 1995 cigar. So um, let's just leave it at that. For an aged cigar, this is the best aged cigar I've ever had. The oldest cigar I've ever had. And I've had some that were 10, 11 years old, 12 years old, right? Um, I have one from 2008. It's a Cuban, sent in to me by Jose Golf Piper. And I'm saving that for a certain number that we hit. We're getting close. And we're going to smoke that. And that'll be the oldest. That would have been the oldest cigar I would have smoked until I smoked this one. But that will be the oldest Cuban I've smoked. And he personally got that in Cuba and brought it home. And he very kindly gifted it to me. So, Jose, if you're watching, we're getting close on the number of subscribers where I'm going to be busting that one out and smoking it. Anyway, this 30-year-old cigar is this is a banger. If you guys can get your hands on one, I really suggest it. I don't think I got enough of these. I only got a 5 pack. I only got a 5 pack of the red. I haven't tried the red. It's still coming. I don't have enough of these. I can tell you that right now. Mm. This video is going to be long. Sorry, guys. I'm just all over this cigar. All right, we'll be back. All right. So I took the band off. This is where we're at. Very good cigar. I mean, it's starting to get a little bit of that minty slash ginger snap spice to it. probably because we're down to the end. It's getting a little warm. Solid stick. I mean, this is a banger cigar right here. If, like I said, if you can get your hands on one, I highly recommend it to at least try one. Anyway, I'm gonna puff the last few puffs off this, so I've finished our pre-trip, and it's time to get loaded. So, as always, thanks for tuning in on another epic cigar. This one is epic. Um, as always, try different sticks, and always keep it smoky, my friends. Mm. Oh yeah, oh yeah.